Newly crowned WBC featherweight champion of the world. It's a pleasure to have on Tiara Brown.
What's going on, champ?
The
First
pleasure
off,
is
champ,
mine.
thank you.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you. Listen, congratulations. So much, you know, getting to this fight. Yeah, you've had to go through so much recently, but before you calling Sky out, before this fight came to be, there it was years in the making, right? You're a fighter that has proven yourself earlier on, and it took you. You've been a pro for I don't know, almost 9 years now, to get this title shot. What do you think was the reason that you didn't get the shot years ago, or when you felt you should have? You've earned the opportunity.
I think honestly, it was the fact that I was going, like, I was with another promoter, and then when COVID hit, there was a lot to do with that. And I just never got my shot. I'm with a great promoter now, OTX, and they're pushing me. They believe in me. I believe in them. And I think now I'm in a great place now.
All right, so you just had an amazing fight with Skye Nicholson. That trash talk was epic. A couple questions, but the first thing is people loved you because you were the underdog, you were deserving, and you never got the shot. But during that trash talk, during the build up to the fight, you became the bad guy.
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose, or it just came out because you don't like her, or what?
Actually, I didn't do it on purpose, and I never set out to be the bad guy. Um,
Mhm.
Sky had been talking really recklessly about me for the past 2 years, right? Especially on Twitter. And it just got to a point where at some point I have to stand up for myself, right? Um, and I think it's sad that I ended up being the villain when I didn't start it, but I damn sure finished it.
Mm.
Um, I
Yeah,
definitely did that.
people felt that. People felt that maybe you were going too hard, and then at times during certain press events, she would play like
Victim.
nice girl, yeah, like a victim. So I wasn't aware that she was attacking you on Twitter for all those years. So even myself, I even said to Barak, bro, I think Tiara was going a little too hard. Like this girl Sky looks like she's such a humble, fighter. I mean, is she doing it for promotion? Is it because obviously on TikTok, your clips are doing numbers, crazy numbers. So I guess it served you well, but so it really wasn't on purpose. You just have a little grudge from things that she said to you.
And I don't even have a grudge, right? But I used it to fuel me. And
Mm,
once we started going with the media and I started being more vocal, more people liked it. More people started tuning in. Eddie was happy because it got more people eyes on the fight, although it did paint me as the villain. And I think it's really unfortunate that no one ever
Mhm.
checked any of the things that she was saying. You'd have people here and there um, saying the things that she has said about me. But it's like all the crazy things that she said about me, it was okay and it was fine. But when I started being vocal about the way that I felt, when I started being confident in myself, it was taken as I'm arrogant, I'm cocky, I'm ghetto, I'm all
mm,
these things. But she was allowed to say whatever she wanted to say
mm,
about me, and it was a-okay.
mm.
You know what OTX should have did? They should have did like a compilation video of all the things that she said about you leading up to this fight, and then say, "Okay, this is my response." But was she tougher than you expected?
No, she wasn't actually.
No,
Wow,
I thought she would give me better
really.
wow.
because she told me to keep the same energy that I had, and I told her I would. And she told me that I better be ready come Saturday, and I was. So I just feel like all the stuff that she said I was old, she said I was slow, she said I had no footwork. She said I'd never done anything in the sport of boxing ever in my entire career. She said I was irrelevant. I was so far down on the rankings that she shouldn't even say my name. So with all of that being said, baby, you're gonna have to
Mhm.
give me something. And she didn't.
I'm surprised you didn't get depressed after all of that. Damn.
And that's actually why I logged off of Twitter August 2024. I just logged back on Twitter, maybe 2 days ago, because I was dealing with so many people saying things, her fans just calling me outrageous names. Um, it wasn't good for my mental state. But I took all of that they were saying and I used it as fuel. because I know the plight of the black woman. I know the plight of the black woman, and I'm a living testament of it. Because like y'all said, I got turned into the villain when all I was doing was standing up for myself.
So do you think the scorecards were a little off because of
I do think the
having it
scorecards were off
split
because I
decision?
don't see her winning rounds like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see her
You
winning
know,
rounds like that.
you brought up some of the fans on Twitter, some of her fans saying outrageous things to you. Talk to me about being in that hostile environment, right? And what are some of the things that people there in person might have said to you that was super disrespectful? Anything that comes up?
Actually, the Aussies were terrific to me. I mean, I
Wow.
give them a standing ovation for the way that they treated me. I'm talking
So you
about.
expect you didn't expect that?
I did not expect that because I had a lot of Australian people before I went there sending me text messages on my DM apologizing in advance for
Wow.
the way that they thought I was going to get treated when I came there.
Wow.
But I didn't. I got treated with much hospitality by the Aussies. However, online, man,
Mm.
I was getting destroyed. Still
It's,
am
al-
right
it's,
now,
it's,
even
al- it's
even
always the
playing.
trolls. It's always the trolls that you can't see who they are, how they look
Right,
behind it, hiding behind a computer that say the nasty things. So shout out to Australia then for showing you some love out there.
for
For real.
sure. And also there were people in the comments attacking Sky because they were like, "You're so fake and phony." Because when we had our first face to face on the Zoom call, she didn't mention any of the things that she said about me, and she was saying like how she thinks we could actually be friends. I had a cool personality, but online she was saying I'm unlikable. I don't have a following, and it's because I'm unlikable. And people were like, well, we felt pe- people have to be aware of what they say. I can tell someone a million bad things about another person, and it'll make that person not like that person. I don't want to see that person. And that's what she did.
Yeah.
That's what she doesn't
Mm.
understand. Like the things that you were saying about me, these people actually took it at face value and made up their own mind in their own mind the type of person that I am.
Was there a rematch clause in the contract?
There was no rematch clause. So this is
Oh
mine.
wow. Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely. So moving forward, do you feel like you still have something against her because of all of the things she did, or were you able to let it go because you got the victory?
And I have nothing against Sky. Like I said, I think she's too pampered, right? And I spoke with her coach after the fight, and he told me she's spoiled. This is out of the mouth of her coach. He said she's spoiled. He said she does what she wants to do. He said that they try to get her to do certain things and she just doesn't do it, that she does what she wants to do. So at the end of the day, I never had anything really against her. It was just more so all that came with it. Like I'm in the gym 365 days out of the year. I'm training 2 to 3 times. Your coach is telling me you're spoiled. You do what you want to do. You've been gifted so much. While I've had to fight tooth and nail for the little bit of things that I've gotten. And I just took that with me, and it fueled me. But I have no hard feelings against God. I got the victory. At the end of the day, I'm the winner.
I'm gonna call you on Christmas and see if you in the gym.
I,
I'm gonna
I'm, I'm
check.
gonna
I'm
be
gonna
there.
fact check that.
Christmas, I'm
I'm
in
gonna
the
fact
gym.
check that.
Easter, I'm in the gym. Sundays after
Oh my
church, I'm in
goodness.
the gym.
Go
So
after church at least. All right,
After
not
church,
bad, not bad.
not before.
so that mean villain Tiara Brown, she's gone. You left her in Australia.
I left in Australia. That's the dark
Good,
menace.
good.
All that you guys saw, that's the dark
Hmm.
menace. That's the hey, I'm coming for this victory. Like this is my shot. I waited so long for this, and I wasn't gonna be quiet. I wasn't gonna be silent. Like I was fighting with my ancestors behind me. That's just how I truly felt. Like I'm doing this for the culture. Like I haven't got my chance. This is my shot, and I'm running with it.
Right.
Can you tell me about, usually when a fighter wins a big fight, there are so many people that reach out, congratulate, DM, text message. Is there anybody like that you admire in the sport that shot you a message that you was like, oh wow, like this felt good? Like could you name a few of those?
I mean, of course, we have Amanda Serrano who shot me out.
Mm.
Caroline, the
Wow.
boys, Clarissa, of course. I was really excited when Sinicia Estrada shot me out. Because I'm like, I love her, super,
That's what's
super
Hmm.
up.
bad. So I felt so great. my good friend Ramla Ali shouted me out. Latia Wright, the Black Panther, the
Wow.
Black Panther is
Wow.
in my DM in my Instagram, and it's like
Wow.
Wow.
I'm just so inspired, and I'm
So,
just so excited, and I'm so happy that I came home with the victory because where we're from, people don't make it where we're from. No one has done like people don't do such amazing things, and their dreams are rarely, obtained where I'm from, and I did it, and I'm gonna keep going.
right. All right. So you mentioned Amanda Serrano. She's such a sweet person
Yes.
and I think a great leader in the sport.
Yep.
Now, she signed a lifetime contract with MVP. Meanwhile, I'm thinking she's going to fight Katie Taylor again and just end. But that tells me maybe she's still going to continue to fight. Is that a fight you'd want in the future?
Oh, for sure. To test my skills against one of the goats, the goat at the featherweight division. I say
Wow.
the goat at the featherweight division, and I say one of the goats all around because there's
Right.
her, there's Katie, there's Clarissa. I would
Yeah.
never throw shade on any of them because they
Yeah.
are goats in the sport. But as far as the featherweight, Amanda is the goat. And of course I would like to test like my skills against her. She's been my role model ever since I was on Team USA.
Wow. And she's a
Wow.
7 division champion.
Yes,
So it's a
yes.
lot to say about that. No woman has ever done that. And she's more comfortable in that weight class, fighting Katie at 135, 140 might be too much for her, but I'm excited about this rematch. So, all right. So talking to the OTX team and your manager, Brian and stuff, what's your, what is your first request as a champion? Hey, I want to fight another 2 times this year, or I want to defend my title. This is who I'm looking at. What's that conversation like after coming back home with the strap?
I think I'm ready to fight. I want to fight. I want money fights. I want prize fights. I want big fights, no small fights. I want to fight the best of the best at 126. I weighed in at 124 and a half, I believe. I can make 122 easy. I mean, I walk
Wow.
around at like 135 just
What about
without.
Mm.
130? Would you
I
consider
want
fighting at 130?
130. I want 122, 126, and 130. I want to fight the
Wow.
best fighters in those three weight classes.
So is boxing sustaining you financially enough right now? Because you're not working anymore, are you? Because I know you was a police officer.
Well, I'm the coach for the Fort Myers Police Athletic League, the boxing coach. And I own my own
Okay.
business. I own a CMOS business. They call me the
Oh
CMOS
wow.
Oh
Queen.
wow.
Yeah, I'm really into the health. So I own my own CMOS business.
Oh, I need some C
Okay.
mass, Tiara.
Hey,
Like I'm
listen, let
into
me tell
that.
you about
C no, she don't sell C mask. She sells
See,
C moss.
but
first
Yeah.
off,
I make
I know
masks
it's
with it too.
CMOS.
We do so many things with the CMOS.
No, I used to
That's
take
cool.
CMOS years ago, and
So you
and
know
it's
about
good.
the
I just,
CMOS.
yeah, oh,
No, it
of
didn't work
course.
though. Look at him though. It didn't work.
You got it. You got
What are you talking about, bro? Are you
it.
tripping? No, that's great. So yeah, I mean, I guess I was going to ask you that question as well. Like boxing is sustaining you, especially now. You're calling out. I only want money fights, which deservingly so, right? You're a champion. This sport, it's tough to make it to that point where you're making those money fights. So, what opponent, in your eyes, in your opinion, will give you deliver a nice prize fight?
I believe the next two champions in my weight class would be Nina and Amanda at 126. And maybe next year, the year after, I do plan on going to 130. And I would love to fight those girls, especially Baumgartner. She's such a great fighter and she's strong. I mean, this girl is so powerful. I would like to see how it will hold up against that power.
Wow.
Right. You got a lot of humility the way you talk. Most fighters wouldn't say how I'd hold up or I want to test my skills against them. They usually don't talk like that. But let's just say you were going face to face with Baumgartner. She talks a very good game, meaning if somebody gonna trash talk her, she's good with that.
Yeah.
Would you meet her face to face with the trash talk?
For sure. I believe she's a Gemini. See, we got that in common.
Oh, that's what it is.
So it'd be Gemini. We don't once you get us started, we gotta get it
You
out.
won't back down.
We gotta get it out. We
Okay,
gotta get it out.
no doubt.
You talked about finally, getting the opportunity, and you mentioned overtime, OTX, Brandon, Britton, those guys are great, and how fast they grew that brand of
Yes.
OTX, right? And obviously, your manager. What was it about OTX and the guys there that you put your belief in, just like they put their belief in you? Talk about that.
I have never like I've never in the boxing world, besides when I was an amateur, in the professional world, I've never felt like I was important, right? I felt like I was a nobody. I felt like people just didn't care about me. Um, but with OTX, it's like they go out of their way to make me feel loved. They go out of their way to make me feel valued. I feel valuable to them. I feel like they honestly, genuinely care about me as if we're family, as if like our blood is the same. And I'm so grateful to have them in my life.
That's
Wow,
yeah,
that's
that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
You went through so much, thank God for those guys, at OTX, but can you tell us about a time in your career where you legitimately thought about retiring? Like, I'm giving this up. Not just a thought, but like you really considered it.
I think it was during the COVID, right? I was with another promoter and I wasn't getting fights. Although other people that were under that same banner were still getting fights. And everyone knows in Florida, although COVID hit and a lot of things were shut down, Florida doesn't shut down for anybody. Florida doesn't
Oh, that's
care what type of pandemic. It could be a
right.
twister, tornado, hurricane, tsunami. Florida is gonna be open. That's just how it is. And a lot of other people were still fighting under that same banner, but I wasn't. And I just felt like, is this it? Like, is this all? Like, I've trained so hard and I'm never going to get my shot. I think a lot of people were depressed. A lot of people were suffering from anxiety during COVID. And I think that if there was ever a time, that is the time where I thought, like, well, maybe I should just coach.
So, how much did God play a part
Mm.
in that? Did you do a lot of praying for God to reveal to you, maybe this is not the time to let it go? Just wait, be patient.
Absolutely. I think that alone is what got me through. Because, like I said in one of my other interviews, I would see my other Team USA teammates fighting for world titles, right? And I'm like, well, dang, I want to at the worlds, but I'm still not fighting for a world title. And I feel like God told me just stand fast. I pray a lot. My father's a pastor. My coach is a pastor. So every day I'm rooted in the Lord. He is my rock. He is my foundation.
Amen.
He is my stability.
Amen.
And I feel like he told me it's not your time. It's my
Mm,
time. Because in my mind, it's
mm,
like, well, I've been doing this, God, for over 20 years now. When is my time? But
mm.
God is always on time. He's never late. He's never early. He's never too soon.
That,
Because
that's a fact.
I just went to Australia, across the globe, into the champion's backyard and won. When no one thought I was going to, I did it. And I feel like that was God. It was his platform. He had me going through all these things. I never got my championship. I never got a chance for a title because it wasn't the right timing. Look at that platform I just fought on. That was the timing. God wanted to elevate me because I gave him all the glory, honor, and praise because he is the most high God. And I know that it was with and because of him I was victorious.
You preaching. So when was that time period when your contract with this unnamed
Promoter.
promotional company expire? And then how did you get introduced to OTX? Tell me exactly how that happened.
So Brian Cohen had been stalking me for years. And he likes to use the word stalking because that's what he was doing. He was a predator on the prowl for
Your
me.
manager.
Yeah. He was always trying to sign me. And I was like, nah, I wasn't going to sign with the manager. I mean, for years. I was a police officer in DC. My tour of duty was at 6 in the morning. I would have Brian Cohen on my phone, 6 o'clock in the morning, talking to me, trying to sign me at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, Brian, do you sleep? I'm in my police cruiser looking at my phone ring, Brian Cohen. I'm like, this guy is 6 a.m. No one is up,
Mm.
but he's up trying to get me, you know, and hats off to him for doing that because his persistence, he was persistent. He tried his best and I would never sign with him. And then when I did, he
Why
introduced me
though?
to
What?
OTX.
No, hold. You went too fast. You
Oh,
went too
sorry,
fast. Now,
sorry.
were you still signed to this promotional company, or did that
No,
expire?
that I got
Okay.
out of that. I got
Uh-huh.
out of that promotional company and I just started working with Brian like 2 years ago. Two
Mm.
years
Mm.
ago, and he told me you're gonna be a champion. You're gonna be a
Wow.
champion. He told me that, and I believed in him, you know. And then he got me signed with OTX, and look how that just worked out.
Amazing.
Well, so
I mean, all we need is the right person in our life.
That's it. All
so
you need is somebody who believes in you
believes
and
in you.
can get that door open for you, because the door opened up a little bit for me. I kicked that thing down.
You'd be surprised that when you feel valued, how much confidence that
Yeah.
gives you. Now, look, Skye gave you an opportunity. Obviously, there was some bad blood back and forth, Twitter, no rematch clause. But if she puts that out there, listen, I gave you a shot at my title. Can I get a shot at getting it back? Would you honor that?
And see, the thing about it is she didn't give me a shot. She was told you're doing this. I was her
Mm.
mandatory because June 2024, I became her mandatory. I became her mandatory June 2024. Yet she was able to fight two title defenses
Wow.
without it being me.
So,
And
in other words, she was forced to it. She didn't really
she was
want it.
forced. She was forced. The WBC had already told him. Britain went over to where Germany, that convention, and told them.
Yep. Germany. I was there when he did
And
it. He stood up for
he
you.
stood up for me. He said, "No, she's done this. I'm her mandatory, but you guys are still allowing her to fight other people while I'm still fighting for pennies, and that's not fair." So she didn't want to fight me. She actually tried to fight for the IBF unification. I'm really good friends with Nina. So I already know she tried to go around me again and would have been allowed to had Nina said yes, they'll fight her, you know,
Wow.
Right.
and that's just not
Right.
fair. That's not fair at all. But I'll tax that again. She can come across to these waters and get on that flight and come to OTX in Atlanta, and we can dance all day long.
Yeah, and that's how you know it was God, because they literally gave Nina the green light. They gave Skye the green light to fight Nina,
Yep.
and all of a sudden I hear that she's fighting you. I was like, how did that happen?
Shout
That
out
was
to
a
Britain for
blessing.
lobbying for you in Germany too. I watched that footage. Listen, I'm proud of you. It was great to watch. I'm happy for all the success in that fight. Looking forward to you, getting some big money fights and other championship fights down the line. Man. Congrats again. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.